Hello guys, welcome to BTech Spark. In this video, I'll explain how to access different models or how to access model in multiple ways and how to configure advanced parameters. Also, I'll discuss. In this video, these all concepts I'm going to cover. That is how to generate response directly and how to generate stream type response and how to make a chat based messaging model or client, and I also explain how to create async IO responses, how to get async IO responses from Google models, and I'll also explain how to set advanced parameters like temperature, top P, and candidates count, and so on, as well as set how to set system instructions and how to block dangerous or harmful or sexual content and hate speech by using safety settings. And I'll also show you how to configure thinking for a model. I'll show you in this, that is how to include the thoughts of our model, as well as how to set thinking budget, like how many number of tokens that a model can use for thinking. That also I'll explain. So let's start with it. The first one, that is how to generate content. To to connect with any Google model, you first need to create a client. For that, first we need to install Google Gemini. So I'm just installing it. After installing it, you need to configure your client. This client is present in Google Gemini. From Google, let's first import Gemini. So whenever this package got downloaded, then all the dependencies related to Google Gemini will get it. Now this Google Gemini got installed successfully. So let's create a client by using this Gemini dot client method. Let's create this. So here we need to definitely provide one required parameter, that is API key. This API key we can provide it by using environmental variables, or since it's a Google Colab, I'm just taking it from Google dot Colab. I'm importing user data. Using this user data, we can able to access the secret keys. Here I have already stored my secret keys. In this, I have this Google API key, my Google API key. I want to access it. So Google API key I am providing, and using user data dot get method, I am accessing that Google API. So now by providing Google API key, I am creating a GenAI client. After creating GenAI client, now let's start with how to generate the content using client. Using the client, first I'll show you how to generate the content. To generate the content, this client is having some method, that is models dot generate content is the method that is used to generate the content. In this, we must need to specify few parameters. Those are, what is the model that we are going to use, that we need to specify. Currently for now, the latest model is 2.5 Flash. So I'm using that Gemini 2.5 Flash. Then we also need to specify what is the input or you can say to interact with this client, what is the question that you want to ask, that we need to specify, that is contents. I'm asking, who are you? So this is the question that I want to ask to this model. I'm just running this cell. In this way, you can see we got the response. Let's store it in a response variable, and let's print that response to analyze what is the content present in it. In this response, we have candidates, and in this candidates, we have content. In this content, we have parts. In this part, if you observe clearly, the text is there. That is nothing but our model response. This you can directly even access by using a dot text. Response dot text also provides us simply the direct answer for the response for the question whatever we asked. What is the model provided response that we can able to directly get. In this way, we can able to directly generate the response from any model by using the client that we have just now created. Let's move on to the second one, that is generating the stream type response. To generate the stream type response using the same client, we have a method that is client.models.generate content streams. Content stream. In this also we need to mention two things. Which model we're expecting to use. Currently, I want to make use of the latest model, that is Gemini 2.5 Pro. And what content you want to, like, what is the question that you want to ask? I want to ask a question like, what is AI? You can see we got object type response. So how to read this response? Since it's a streaming response, each and every time you can say one part, or you can say one stream of response will got. So in the list of streams, we are accessing one by one stream, and let's try to print each and every stream of response. This will generate actually stream of responses. Among that, we are accessing one by one stream and try to print each and every stream. Now you can able to observe like multiple streams of responses we are getting. In this, if you observe, this text is having the response. So stream dot text will provide us whatever the expected response, and end is nothing but I am providing an empty space. So if you run it, that is if we take only the expected text and removing all the content, then we can able to see the response like this. You can observe like how it is generating the content. So now you can see bit by bit the content is generating and streaming, and here you can able to observe that generated content is, yeah. So you have also understood how to generate stream response. And the next one is generate multi-turn chatbot type response. To generate multi-turn chat, first we need to create a chat, and we can make use of the chat to send the message or receive the response. So I'll show you like how to create that chat using the client whatever we created previously. We can make use of chats method, and we are using create method, and that's it. We are providing the model, and that is what model we are expecting to use. That is Gemini 2.5 Flash I want to use. So that's it. In this way, you can able to create a chat. After creating the chat, in order to interact with that chat, you can just use send message, so that we can able to send the message to this chat, like who are you. In this, what are the response we got, so that also we can able to see similar to the previous by using this text. So in this way you can able to chat. Like, this is the first question that we ask. The second question will be, why I need to use you. So like that, you can able to ask, so that you can able to access the continuation chat. You can say this is the first message and this is the second message. Let's say if you want to stream this message as well, then you can observe message stream option is also there, and this response is nothing but a streamed response, I think. So let's try to print this response as well as like previous. So let's take each and every stream value in this generated stream, and let's try to print that stream, and let's check what do we can able to observe in the result session. Yeah, you can see we're getting multiple responses. So in these responses, in the text itself, the required value is there. So I'm taking only the dot text, and ending I am taking it as an empty, so that the streaming will we can able to observe that streaming. So this is how you can able to create a chat. You can able to generate a multi-turn chat. Then the fourth one, is generate AsyncIO response. How to generate asynchronous input output responses. This is required when you are hosting a real-time application. During that time, the request will be asynchronous, and after the request came, the response will be sent back. That means it's an asynchronous protocol. So during that time, like what is the method that we can able to use in order to interact with the client. If you want to interact with the client in this asynchronous protocol, then that is provided by using this AIO client.aio dot models dot generate content. For generating the content, like you can provide the model name, same like previously how you provided Gemini 2.5 Flash, and you need to provide your contents, like what is the question that you want to ask. Now I'm asking, who are you? So if I run this, you can see we're getting the asynchronous object. To get the correct response, you need to make use of await. If you make use of await, then it will wait for till the response will be sent by this model. After that, you can store it in any variable like response, and to further print it, you can use this response dot text, so that you can able to print the response. If you want to stream the response, then generate content stream is the approach that you can able to follow to get the streaming type response as well. So this is the way, like you can able to generate asynchronous IO responses. Then let's move on to the next approach. So till here we have done. Now let's move on to the configuring of advanced parameters. How to configure advanced parameters like temperature, top P, and candidates count. So that I want to explain now. To configure these, so for now, let's make use of this generate content as the example. In other in other approaches as well, you can able to add that as para, or you can say config. Config is the parameter to that you need to assign your configuration. So how to provide or how to assign that configuration? Do I have any inbuilt class? Yes, there is a inbuilt class. You can make use of to provide those configurations. So what is that inbuilt class? From Google dot Genai dot type, you can able to import generate config, generate content config method. You can make use of that generate content config, and you can able to provide your advanced properties like temperature you can provide, candidates count you can provide, top k you can provide, top p you can provide, as well as max output tokens also you can able to provide. I am providing all these parameters, and you can see the content, you can say the question I am asking, and let's see the response how we will get. So I'm a large language model trained by Google. So that's what the response that we got, right? So let's increase the output tokens limit, and let's observe the response. You can see the response size got increased. And the temperature, let's say I want to change it to 2, and I just put it like 800 itself. So like that, based on your requirement, you can change this to get most appropriate responses by varying the temperature as well as max output tokens. If you want more response, like you can make use of max output tokens to be max length, and top k and top p, like top top 95% probability values only take, that can you specify using this top p, and top predicted values like 95% or above predicted percentage values only you can pick. And this top k will specify how many, you can say, let's say the next word will be probability is probability of next word will be predicted, right? Word as well as the probability will be predicted, and like that only every model is generating the content. If you want to access only top 95% above related content, then you can set this top as 95%. Let's say if you want 75% above content, then you can put it as a 0.75 as well. And this top case specifies how many elements to choose, so or how many words, next words to choose. So that is specified by using this top k. And max output tokens, as you know that if you want a max output length, then max output response, then you can able to increase it based on your requirement. Temperature represents the randomness, and this is how you can able to configure these parameters like advanced parameters like temperature. You have seen top p, top k, all those you have seen, like max and new tokens also you have seen. Now let's see with set system instruction, how to set an system instruction. To set a system instruction, in this generate config, generate content config class only, you have a parameter that is system instruction. Using the system instruction, you can able to specify system instructions. The system instructions I want to define at first. Like you can specify the system instructions. You are an expert, or let's say you are a translating agent. You can convert given input into Hindi language and provide the response back. So let's see whether it can able to generate the Hindi response or not. Yeah, you can see whatever the input that I provided, that got translated into another language and we got the response back. Now I'll explain how to set safety settings, like how to block dangerous or harmful or sexual content and hate speeches. So those settings I'll explain now. So I'll take the same generate content method. So here I'll explain. First, I'll comment out this instruction, because it will just take the input and it will, based on our instruction, it will translate, right? So that's why I'm commenting this. So let's see what's the response right now. I'm a large language model trained by Google. Now I'll show you like how to add safety settings. The safety settings you can able to create as a list of settings, and you can able to assign them. You can able to assign them inside your config itself. Directly here itself you can able to assign safety settings. For this you can able to assign what are the safety settings that you define. That list you can able to assign. Now I'll show you how to create these safety settings. These safety settings you can create as a list, and you can observe like it is already providing me some hint. So this is one of the approach, and this is also one of the approach. I'll show you one more approach, that is using safety settings. That is you can able to get from here, that is this, from safety setting. So from Google Gemini types, we're importing this safety setting, and by using that safety setting, here you can observe we are blocking. We can able to block. That is we need to specify at first the category. We need to specify the category, which category the content is. It's a harm category. Where do we get this harm category? Is we need to get it from this types itself. You can see harm category is there. So first I'll show you how to block dangerous content. The dangerous content is already defined in this harm category variable, and we are using that, and we are specifying that content, that category, by using this harm category dot harm harm category, that is dangerous content. Harm category dangerous content we are specifying, and the threshold we need to set. This threshold indicates whether we are expecting to block that content, or so that we need to specify. We are expecting to block it from low, or low and high, both I want to block. So that's why I'm specifying like this. low and above. First, we need to import these harm block threshold. From where we can able to import this is nothing but from here. From Google Gen types, we need to import this harm block threshold. So like this, we defined a safety setting, that is we are blocking. You can see we are blocking a low and above type threshold harm category content, dangerous harm category content. Like this, you can even define multiple rules. I'll just copy paste some of the rules, like blocking other types of contents. So this is for harassment content blocking. This is for hate speech content blocking. This is for sexual explicit content blocking. Like that, multiple rules are predefined in this harm category. You can once stick with it, and you can make use of that as well. So here you can see I just blocked all these, and now let's ask some question like list some some harassments. So like that, let's ask some question. I think we haven't defined this, so that's why we're getting the error. The harm category we need to CATE. Okay, so now you can able to observe we are getting what one validation error, that is safety setting. It is showing like extra inputs are not permitted. Let's see what is the extra input that we provide. Okay, the category spelling we need to mention correctly. Yeah. Now the safety settings. Okay, here it's not safety settings, it's safety setting. For this safety setting, we can able to provide a list of safety settings. Safety settings we have defined, and okay, I think both names are not similar. Okay, so that's why we getting the error like that is not defined. So again we're getting like extra input. Again we are getting the same error. That means this method in this generate config, some extra forbidden value is provided. That is nothing but this list of nothing but our safety settings, right? Yeah, it's a safety settings. We need to provide the same name, like safety settings is equals to whatever the safety settings that we defined. I'm just run this. Now let's see the response. What we'll get. You can see we haven't got any response. Like we listed something since it is blocked, we haven't got the response. So let's try with another, and let's check with the response whether we can able to get it or not. You can see still we haven't got any responses. Let's change it to good speech other than hate speech and run it again, and let's see whether do we got the response or not. Now since that content is not blocked, let's first print the response. Yeah, we got the response. In the response part, if we observe, this is due to since we are blocking low and above, so that's why we're not getting response for anything. So that's the scenario, I think. So let's comment this out as well. Like safety settings also, this is how you can able to set the safety settings. And if you comment it and if you see, like, you can able to observe, like, I think it cannot able to list some good speeches, so that's why in parts we are not getting anything. So let's take some specific, or let's ask some specific question, and let's observe the difference. List 5 motivational bad sentences. So I'm just running it. Since we blocked all the bad sentences, so hate speech, we haven't got the response. Let's try with list 5 motivational sentences, and now let's see the response. You can see now we got the response, like a text we can able to see. If we print the text, you can see 5 motivational sentences we got. So like that, like this, we can able to block block the thing. That is like in this way you can able to block hate speech or harassment speech, or so whatever the content that you want to block, those you can able to dangerous content that you want to block, that you can able to block in this way. If I said bad sentences, you can observe the response. So from this example we can able to understood, like, this can able to block the content. Safety settings can able to block the content. And coming to next, yeah, this configuring the thinking. How to configure the thinking? To configure the thinking, we need to add one more in this generate content config. That is, we need to configure thinking config. That also present in Google Gen types. Thinking config. I'm just importing this, and using this we can able to define the thinking configuration here by using thinking config parameter. We can able to specify two things. Thinking config, using this thinking config, one is we can able to specify the budget, and we can able to specify include thoughts or not. What is this include thoughts, sir? Or first I'll tell you what is this budget. This budget specifies uh, how many tokens or how much budget do we categorize, or do we allocate to this model to think for specific question. Let's say I ask a question like, what is AI? What is AI? Now for this question I'm expecting my model do not think, it will just answer based on the knowledge it has. So during that time I want to just since I'm not expecting the model to think, so I'm just assigning the value budget value as 0, so it cannot think. Yeah, here we need to mention the comma. Since I is a thinking budget and specifying it as 0. Yeah. So for answering this question, it does not think at all. If you see the response, so you can see A stands for artificial intelligence. Its simplest term. So to see in good format, let me use print statement. Yeah. So this is how the response will be if no thinking is there. Thinking budget we can able to set from 0 to 2 4, that is 24,576. So till this we can able to set our thinking budget. Max will be that value only. If we set in between 1 to 24,576, then the model will think on this question before answering. If I run this, then you can able to observe the, Okay, two commas are there, so that's why we're getting this error. If I run this, then you can able to observe the difference between this is the previously generated response, right? I'll just print the response again now. Let's print the response. Yeah, I think no response we got. Let's put only some thinking budget. I think we since we put max thinking budget, it got thought overthinking. So let's try to print the text and let's observe the difference between the previous as well as the current. This is the previous and this is the current output. You can observe there will be some key differences. The response format, you can say it got a bit changed and the response also got changed a bit. And what are the thinkings, like what are the decisions that it has taken meanwhile thinking? If you want to see that, then you need to include these thoughts. If you include these thoughts, then you can able to see what thinking it has done. So now it's again running. I'll just print the plain response. So in this plain response, I'll just pick the candidates. This candidates is nothing but list of candidates. We're expecting zeroth candidate value, so we're taking zeroth one. In this also we are taking the content. In this content we have parts. These parts now I'm axing. Now here you can observe clearly. Now in the first part, if you observe the text, crafting a clear explanation of AI. This is nothing but thinking of the model. This is not the response. Okay, so I need to explain AI. Since what the question we asked, what is AI we asked. So it is thinking like crafting a clear explanation of AI. So okay, so I need to explain AI to someone who is clearly not a novice. They have asked fundamental question. So like that, it is thinking. After that, if you observe, this is the second part. In the second part, where is the text? Yeah, here. So from here, you can observe the response it's generated. And if you observe the response, that is also the second part only. If in case I want to set the thinking budget to zero, that means I want to make this model to non-thinking. And if I run this, now let's observe what is the response that we can able to see. We just make the budget to be zero, so it's a non-thinking model. Now for this non-thinking model, you can observe just only a single part of response that we got. There is no thinking. Here you can see direct AI response we got. So this is the difference you can able to understood between thinking and non-thinking. If we put thinking budget as zero, then it becomes purely non-thinking. And if we put in between 1 to 1 to 24,576, then it's a thinking model, thinking mode for the model. For non-thinking mode, we just put we just put the budget to be zero. So like that you can remember. So based on the thinking budget, number of tokens that will be assigned for thinking will vary. If we assign larger budget, then larger number of tokens will be assigned for thinking. If we assign less budget, then less number of tokens will be assigned for thinking. So based on that, you will get better responses or a bit lower responses as well. This is all about thinking configuration as well, like thinking budget and including the thoughts. So we covered all the things. The same thing, like this all thing you can able to include whatever the configurations that you just now added. These all also you can able to include inside streaming as well. Like here, you can add inside the streaming as well. I think two times this was there. So let's remove this. In the same way, you can able to define in stream. For your purpose, I am running it once. So it's running and generating. Since there is no error in it, it can able to generate the response. Yeah, this is a valid. In the same way, you can able to use that for chat, multi-chat based model as well. Here you can able to provide that, and in AIO as well. Here you can able to provide the configuration as well. So that's all about this video. In this video, we covered these all things. That is, I explained to you how to generate the response, like generate the content in the format of streams or multi-ton chat. How to create this multi-ton chat, that also I've explained, and how to generate AsyncIO based responses, asynchronous responses, that I've explained, and how to configure advanced parameters like temperature, top P, candidate token, top K. These things we have seen, and how to set system instructions also we have seen, and how to block or how to control safety settings we have seen. We have blocked dangerous content, harmful and hate speeches also we have controlled, we have observed in this video. And I've explained you this configuring thinking options, like including thoughts, as well as how to set thinking budget for simpler tasks. For non-thinking tasks, how to set this thinking budget I've explained. And one more point, that by default thinking budget is not zero, that will be something. If you want to make it for non-thinking, then you need to put the thinking budget as zero. By your like custom way, you need to put like this. So that's about this video. I hope you understood this video and you got all these concepts from this video. I hope this video is useful. If you feel this video is useful, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thanks for watching again. See you back in the next video with another interesting topic. Until then, bye bye, guys.